Welcome back to another Chips production walkthrough. I am Kyle, and this is our song Give and Take, and this is part one. I just want to feel like it would just be better to do it the beginning as part one, the rock section as part two, because it's a lot. But let's start out, let's just listen to this is the session here. And I'll go through all this stuff here that's muted right now, but let's just listen to when Emma's vocal comes in.
I feel compelled to say what's on my mind. A simple truth hidden from my view. So tell me, why do you want to live this way? I put it on the give and take.
So, oh boy, that's the intro of this song. And if you guys haven't seen the Chips lore video or haven't even heard of this song, basically it's about like an inner dialogue that people have with themselves. And when we wrote it, I came in kind of like with this intro, kind of like figured out somewhat, and just with the line, I feel compelled to say what's on my mind. And at the time, I guess like I was feeling like very, I don't know, like I guess like introspective about what was going on in my life. And I was trying to, create what Chips kind of became. Like, this was the very beginning of it all, really. And it, like, it just, like, was... I was, like, really, like, trying to shoot for, like, a really nuts song. To, like, prove to myself and prove to Emma that, like, what we were doing with this project was, like, really something special. And this is like kind of that, this whole thing is kind of like was that experiment in a way. And it's funny how things work out, because I remember like when we wrote the song, I originally wanted to sing the intro, because at that time, and this is like 2 years ago when we started like writing all the songs, Emma wasn't like necessarily fully invested in wanting to be part of Chips. And or maybe like I guess a better, like maybe I wasn't invested in doing it all the way either. And so I was like, okay, like this, I want this song, and I want to sing it, because like at some point I have to like show myself as an artist and a creator if I want to do what I'm doing. And so I had like every intention to sing this intro. But then when we wrote it, Emma suggested like, hey, why don't I sing it, and it'll be like a guide for you so that you can go home and you can like work it out. And her original demo, it was like I don't even know how to explain it. Like it was as if like everything that I heard finally like made some sense. It was, I mean, we were joking about it because we have a video called Chips Lore, and we talk about this, and it's like, I don't think I like was like crying when we did it, but like after she like when she said I feel compelled, I was just sitting in the chair just like this, like holy fuck, like there's no chance I will sing this intro, because She sang it so beautifully, and on top of singing it so beautifully, she sang it like it was like the most embodiment of what this song is, which is my subconscious versus who I like, who I guess my physical presence or whatever. And so it like, yeah, it was honestly amazing to hear her sing it. And I'll play her vocal. I'll solo her vocal. This is the vocal that we produced. And yeah, once I why do I have two mouses? I'm sorry. Well, that might be confusing for people, but here, hold on. Let's see something. Odd. Anyways, I have the attention span of a dog, I guess. So let's break this down. I mean, this is a minute and a half, and in this section, obviously you can see there's a ton of shit here. What we ended up doing was, and that's this, the rest of this like session is the second half of the song. That's why I need to do it in two parts. Otherwise, this will be like a 4-hour video. But these two tracks, these blue ones here, are all these vocal tracks that you see in the middle mixed down to Emma and me. And the reason that we did that was because this session was so insane. Craig was like, hey, this is crazy, which it is crazy. Can you like mix them to a place where you love them? And then if I have to, like, you give me all these tracks, these grayed out ones here, which means that they're inactive if you don't work on Pro Tools. And you just give them to me, and if I want to change something, I can go in and make a slight change to one or two things. Well, what happened when we mixed it is that he did, like how he mixed it, it didn't like line up, I guess, like what I was going for. And so inevitably, because I spent so much time like making these two parts that I'm highlighting here, making those two parts sound like kind of the sound that I wanted, that I just asked, it was like, hey, can we just use that? And it made his life easier, and I got to this mix where I wanted it to be. But so let's look at, I'll play you Emma's intro conundrum, and we'll break that down in a minute here. So basically it does that, and then in the second half we change up the chord progression a little bit. So like if we say there are 3 chords, so let's just call them 1, 2, and 3. Instead of doing like 1, 2, 1, 2, we're doing 1, 2, 1, 1, and then 1, 3, 1, 1 is how we like change it up. So she changes what she's singing, and we also added like a little bit of like small things that give it a little bit of like spice on a certain phrase. And then here at the same time, when her lead vocal comes in, I have my voices come in. And originally they were in together from the get-go, like from the start of the the intro. But I just felt that once her lead vocal comes in, it just gave it another sort of lift to the whole thing, because the ones I did are probably not particularly really good, but it definitely added like a fullness to what Emma was doing. And then here's with Emma. this stuff I find to be just so freaking beautiful. And I don't know. It's like I always get like pretty emotional when I hear this thing. And we were saying like in our Chips Lore video, we were talking about this, and I was like, if there is one moment I could go back to from when we made this, it'd probably be like making this part of the song. Um, because it just was like doing this was just it was like the most like both of us just absolutely knowing what we wanted and just working through it, and it took like if this like the vocals in this probably took us a day to do, and it was like but like the whole time it was like we both knew what it was, and what we made became like this like such a beautiful thing. And yeah, it like with what the context for this song is for me, and like with what we ended up making, it just cuts fucking deep. Anyways, so let me actually okay, so let's how should we do this? I guess here I'll just like put work in the other stuff here, and then I'll like break down all the vocals, because then you guys will know what we're looking at. So the only other thing in there is the guitar. And we were in Nashville when we recorded this, so I used one of Emma's guitars and whatever setup they have there. Just kind of made like a funky sounding guitar. And it just like reinforces it, you know? So nuts. Ugh. It's beautiful. And then you get her vocal.
I feel compelled to say what's on my mind. A simple truth hidden from my view. So tell me, why do you want to live this way? I put it all on the give and take.
Whew. What's funny about like hearing these is you can hear me like clicking on the keyboard like at the end of some of the phrases. Like right there is one. But Jesus, did she kill this? I mean, oh my god. Like she sings like a crazy person on this whole record, but this is like gotta be some of her best singing in the whole thing. I mean, it was like she basically did exactly what that is in one take. And then when we sat there for like 45 minutes just being like, I can't believe that just came out of you, she was like, I want to like go in and tweak some things, and we tweaked until we like got what this is. But here, let's just like, I want to just show like highlight something. Like at the end here we have these two extra vocals, and this is something that like for like in a lot of our songs we do, which like on a record is easy to do because you can just have a million tracks, but like it adds such a like interesting movement to what she's doing, because like having heard her straight up vocal, it's like, you know, it's right there, it's super personal, but this is like adds a space to it. So that's one of them. And I think these are just doubles. Yeah. So it's like hearing it.
Want to live this way. I put it all on the give and take.
So like it kind of like reinforces what she's doing, and then it like helps it like flow out, right? So, and then at the end of this section there's like this big build up.
On the give and take.
And I'll show you what that is real quick. It's a couple of synths basically, and guitar and a bass that I just like would fade them in, right? So there's that one. That one that just comes in on the like when everything gets really big. That guitar. A chorus guitar. A guitar playing a fancy chord, or as they say, an expensive chord. And then that bass gets like wobbly. And then there's this thing, a filter sweepy type thing with a crazy effect on it. Hold on, let me show you. So it has like this effect automation on it. And then I made a TV, like kind of like a TV clicking off sound. And I put like a weird effect on it. Like speeds up, like echo, that just makes it sound cool. So that's that entire section. But let's dive into some of these tracks here, because I think it's just, for me, it's interesting how you like build it out. You know, it becomes like the whole harmony, the chords, everything, and it also just gives it its feeling. I'll find for at the end of this video, which I'll like timestamp everything so it's easy to find. But I'll see if I can get the original session, or like maybe just like the audio file of like the original demo. It's slightly different, but anyways. So we'll just like go down like we'll go down in order here. So we'll start on this one. So it's like a straight one, right? The 2-note, a double of it. Okay, so that's our first harmony. And then a double of those. The reason I did doubles is because, like, I don't think I knew at the time, but I think I just wanted it to be like this just wall of vocals. So, yeah, like, I don't know if like now I would do the same kind of thing, because I think if you only had one harmony, wherever you put that, like that's where they're gonna hear that, opposed to like this kind of wall thing. But that was kind of what we were going for, so we just did that, I guess. Kind of like a weird super tuned breathy one. Same thing, double. Yeah, another like super tuned soft thing. A low one. This one, as you can see, there isn't a double for it, because when I put mine in, it didn't need it. Here, let me just put one of each of these in here and see how it sounds. So those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those, it's like a 5-part harmony so far. And as you can hear, it fills out that whole chord. And then you add a high one. So the high one is huge for this because it adds like that fanciness to it. You know, it adds like, it just rounds everything out. So without it and with it, like you hear how it's just like, and then there are these other high ones, which I'm guessing just, yeah, just kind of like these ones, they just like emphasize certain notes that I guess we felt that we're like not feeling as full. Because like some of these we had to mute because they just were clashing when her vocal was in. And so, and then the last ones are at the top here. What is this? Just a super high thing. It's awesome. So let me just play them all. I mean, it's basically what you already heard, but why not? And same with these two. They're just, let me just solo it. Just things to reinforce a small section that we felt didn't have enough juice. So there's that. And now, let's get into my wonderful vocals. Okay, super high one. Straight, middle. A low one. So, nothing that crazy. I mean, the 5 of mine basically just helped reinforce what Emma had. You know, it just gives it a little bit more body to it. So, like, here's, you know, without. All of a sudden, it feels not as rounded out. So those are all those vocals, and you know, I'll just quickly look at a couple of these. I basically just put some EQ on them. Let's see, this one, some 10K, nothing, like literally there's like barely anything on here. And then yeah, just basically just mixed them into a place and put them places that I thought. I mean, the only thing, like the biggest thing I guess, is that I had them all go to a bus, and you know, I would just mute the ones like when I printed them with ones that I wanted, but the bus sends to a verb and to spaced out, and I'll show you spaced out here. This is like the main vibe for this. Here, let me just solo them up real quick, and I'll play you with no verb. So this is just straight. and that's with the spaced out in it. And you can hear the spaced out basically like creates like this delay that helps it like feel like it's like growing into that giant cathedral room, whatever. So this is without. With. Especially when I stop it, you can hear like the delays. And then this is the verb. So this is without. Okay, so now with the verb. It's kind of acting like, here's the plugin. It's kind of acting like almost like a double in a way, like a weird roomy double, but short. Like the second I stop it, it kind of just dies. It's not like a really long, like verb or anything. It makes it really big. That's with both things in. And out of that, what you get.
Why do you want
Get out of here.
to live this way?
Why can't I close this? Whenever like in OBS, it like gives me like some weird symbols on the plugin. It makes it very hard to close it. But anyways, this is what you get.
I feel held.
Oh shoot. Oh, I had these go to the same intro vocals. Oopsies. Okay, let me just mute those. And this is the whole thing.
I feel compelled to say what's on my mind. A simple truth hidden from my view.
God, it's just so.
So tell me,
Emma's just so goddamn good.
why do you want to live this way? I put it all on the give and take.
It's awesome. The one thing that I do want to point out before I cut this video is that like all those weird toony ones that, you know, when you hear them on their own, you're just like, what is this garbage? When you play them, you don't feel it. And that's, you know, it's I think producing and writing and just making music in general is about like your intention. You know, it's like if your intention is to have like a sound a certain way, like doing this kind of thing can make it get closer to what that vision was. And in this case, like I wanted these like luscious, like really beautiful vocals. And when we had them, it's not that when they weren't tuned, or another thing that I use is like vocal line for something like this. It just basically gets it like you can make it as loose or as tight as you want it. And it was good before, but now like it was like, okay, the difference is that this is great and the other thing was good. And I wanted it to be this way. And, you know, I don't hear that when I'm like listening to this record at all or anything. I don't hear any of those like weird different things, but it just gave it the specialness. And one other thing here, which it's not that like crazy of a thing, but basically if you look at like a track like this one, like go really in here, make it big, you can see I like just, you know, used clip gain and basically like cut out like whatever this crazy thing is here and same with the fade out. And I kind of just went through and did that for every single one and clip gained them differently to give it the feel. And lastly, if you look, or you probably can't see it on like if this is a short or TikTok or whatever, but the tempo is at 77. And then after our big section here, we go to 146. And that's when shit gets crazy. And I'm going to make that video either later today or tomorrow, but it's going to be crazy. Yeah. So see, I'm already, this is already 32 minutes. This is what I mean. I can just go on and on. But if you haven't heard this song, I really can't stress enough that you should listen to it, because it's its own animal. And if you like listen to the words, and which we have the lyrics, they're out there, you can look at them. But if you really like listen to what is happening, it's crazy. It's like it's a whole book in its own thing, you know. It's 3.5 minute long, basically 2 different songs combined, and it just, you know, I love this song, and I love what Emma did. Let's just one more time. Let's listen to just guitar and Emma.
I feel compelled to say what's on my mind.
God damn.
A simple truth hidden from my view.
I love that, like, that just the way she goes up on hidden, like.
A simple truth hidden from my view.
It's beautiful.
So tell me, why do you want to live this way? I put it all on the give and take.
Yeah, I can't wait to do that song live at some point. Holy shit. And if we have done it, you know, live. It is live, but it's, you know, it's like a record, like we did a bunch of takes and filmed. So even though the audio is live, it's not like, you know, hey, you got one chance to do it. But we have a live version of this out right now, of both parts. We split it into 2 parts, just like this, just because like the song about a piano is like a very like exposing and like sincere instrument. So it's kind of like nice that we did it that way, like it's just piano and vocal, and Emma crushes that as well. But this is the record, so I don't know. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll get the second one to you when I can. I'm like way behind because I had to go visit my family, but here we are. Life is beautiful. Tell someone you love them. Have a great weekend. I love you guys. Mwah. So, real quick, this is, I couldn't find the session, but I found like the original audio from like when I like had the vision of how I wanted to make this or whatever, and it's like wildly different. Let's just listen to it for a second. I know there's like some interesting stuff in there, but can see the idea was already there. if I fast forward real quick, like, okay, so this is like the original build. So bad. Feeling like somebody else. The song's there, baby. And the bass is in there already. And the chorus. Whoa, what the hell is that? Anyways, love you guys.